Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with your Assistant City Manager for the City of Oshkosh, John Fitzpatrick. John, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
All right, well, we have a lot coming up. In the first half of today's show, we'll talk about some municipal news updates. And in the second half, we'll come back and talk about some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, July 27th Common Council meeting. So, John, some different things today. Let's see, we're talking about the American Rescue Plan Act, otherwise known as ARPA. And there are several ways, I understand, that folks can offer input as to how the city might allocate that funding.
That's right, Andy. We're very encouraged for this opportunity with ARPA, and I know we've been trying to gather information about potential uses. City Manager Roloff has talked to the department heads and also council members, but we want to hear from the citizens too. So. I know that we have a survey that's available to the community through the Polco website, I believe.
Right, that's right.
And hopefully people are familiar with Polco. We ask a variety of questions of the community all the time using Polco, and it's something that it's real easy to use. Mm-hmm. I know you work with the folks at Polco all the time.
That's right.
And they try to make it as user-friendly as possible. So that's one way.
Right.
I think there's a citizen feedback form that citizens can access on the city website. So that'd be another way if they feel more comfortable doing it that way. And then
that's correct.
I think additionally there's an ARPA funding form for nonprofits and community groups and neighborhood associations. That's also available on the city website. So.
Right. We're taking a look at those here.
Okay. Good. Good.
And those are all available through the Hot Topics link that you see there on the city website.
Okay.
So folks can access those fairly easily.
Yeah.
And I understand that the deadline for public input has been extended to July 30th.
Great. Yeah.
So
I think City Manager Rolfe is prepared to talk to the council a little bit about some preliminary ideas on August 10th at the August 10th Common Council meeting. So
okay,
we'll see what happens then.
Okay, all right. And then also, you can tell that it's summer in Wisconsin. We have a lot of construction projects going on around the city. Fond du Lac Road has been under construction for a little while, and among some other places.
Right.
So I know we have some file video of some of these locations.
Okay. Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, I think Fond du Lac Road. It's the construction's basically from Stony Beach Road to East Waukau Avenue.
Right.
So that's an area there that I think is under construction.
And then on the east side of Oshkosh, we have Seepy Avenue that is under construction as well, down closer to the lake.
Right. I think that one's Bowen Street to Lake Street, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And that work is expected to last until late September or so.
Right.
And then we also have West 9th Avenue to Oakwood Road to Paul's Place is under construction on the west side of town.
Yeah, I think also Pheasant Creek and Quail Run is also going to be worked on, I believe, in that area.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that work is expected to last until the end of October. And I understand also that the 9th Avenue and Oakwood Road intersection is scheduled to reopen within a couple of weeks here. So we're looking for that reopening fairly soon.
I know a lot of people are too, because that's a real busy intersection down there near the hospital. So it's pretty heavily traveled. So I think people will be glad to have that area opened up again.
Right. All part of a much larger project there, but folks will be glad to have that one opened up.
Right.
And then also Knapp Street area, there's a water main replacement that is underway. And so there's a lot of utility work going on over there.
Absolutely. And I think, you saw in some of the footage that we had that it's really not just road replacement that we're doing.
Right.
A lot of the projects that we take a look at now are and plan for are really three-dimensional. It's not just the pavement surface, it's all the infrastructure underneath, from storm water to actually water mains, and the connectivity of that. So when we plan the projects, some people may look at the pavement and say, hey, why is this being done? It very well could be that it's connected to a major sewer, or that it just needs to be done based on the age of the infrastructure.
Right.
We don't want to replace a roadway and then have to tear it up because the infrastructure underneath is much more in much more dire straits. So.
Right. All those things are considerations with these projects.
Absolutely, right.
And folks can always look at the city's website for more details about current construction status. And there's also a weekly map there of the road restrictions and lane restrictions and things like that. So you can head to the city's website for more updates on construction. Okay, relating to public safety, there's a special night out coming up. That's on August 3rd.
Right, National Night Out is coming up, and we've participated in that initiative for several years.
Okay.
I think it's really primarily intended to help police community partnerships and relations, but I know there's a variety of our departments that participate in it.
That's right.
And also the neighborhood groups that we have also participate, so it's a chance to get out, enjoy the summer, and connect with your neighbors and also the community. Fortunately, I think quite a few years now ago, I was talked into being into a dunk tank during National Night Out. So I think that was a pretty significant fundraiser.
Okay.
It was pretty popular. And but I don't know about the dunk tank now. I wouldn't want to scare anybody by getting in there at this point. So.
Well, it sounds like a good time for the neighborhoods, and a good community partnership with law enforcement and other city departments.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so they have some parades, cookouts, other community events, a lot of things going on, and just building that sense of community and neighborhood.
Yep. Hopefully we'll have some good weather.
Okay, and that neighborhood night out will be held again on August 3rd, and that will take place in various neighborhood locations around the city of Oshkosh. And you can check the Oshkosh Police Department Facebook page. They will be coming out with some more details about the locations of the events, so stay tuned for that. Okay, John, then also relating to public safety, our Oshkosh Fire Department was recently honored with a few different awards, and some of these are fairly prestigious awards.
They are. I think we're fortunate that we have, leaders, I believe, in virtually every department that we have. And I know from my own experience that, we're contacted by a lot of different communities just to see what we're doing, to try to answer questions for other folks, and just to help out with some departments or some communities that may not have had as much experience as we had, and the fire department is no different. We're fortunate we have Chief Stanley there, Assistant Chiefs Zemer and Bending, and our staff. We're very, very proud of all the employees that work there. They do a tremendous job on a daily basis, and I believe the awards that were presented and received by our folks were part of the consideration was some of the work that was done during the COVID pandemic. I know that I participated in a small way with some of the EOC operations, our Emergency Operations Center, and I know that Chief Stanley and his folks, worked very hard to try to partner with surrounding communities to make sure we were all synced and make sure that we were supporting each other. And by doing that, we could best support, the citizenry, not only in our community, but in surrounding communities. So hats off to them, and, we're very proud of all their efforts whether they get recognized or not.
Absolutely. And here we're taking a look at a photo of the Safety Leadership Award that was presented at the Wisconsin State Fire Chiefs Association convention that happened recently. So they were recognized for implementation of significant changes to their operations and procedures that improve safety for firefighters and for the community.
Right. Yeah, I think we're very fortunate to have the staff that we do from all across the board, and especially in fire because we're talking about the awards that they receive. But I'm very proud to work here and work with all the great people that care about the community.
And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Chief Stanley was honored with the Fire Chief of the Year award this year, and that was awarded based on criteria including leadership, innovation, professional development, integrity, service to the public, and contributions to the fire service as a whole.
Right.
Great recognition for our chief there.
Good work.
Okay. And over in a different area, another city department, we have the Oshkosh Public Museum. And I understand there's a very exciting exhibit that is opening very soon, or it's already open over at the museum.
Yes, right. The Titanic exhibit. So that is very exciting. I've heard a little bit about it from Museum Director Brad Larson, and I know that there's a special focus with this exhibit to tie it into Wisconsin and Wisconsin citizens and the Wisconsin community. So I think there's a lot of unique artifacts that provide a little bit of insight into the Wisconsin connection with Titanic.
Right, exactly. And so this exhibition is based on in-depth research of Wisconsin passengers that was conducted by museum staff and researchers from the Experimental Media Group, and the salvager and the owner of the Titanic artifacts. So there were actually over 50 people on the ship that were either from Wisconsin or that were on their way to Wisconsin.
Right. I was a little surprised by that, and I know a little bit about the exhibit, and I don't want to give away any secrets, but I think that if you have the opportunity to take a look at some of the things that they have over the museum for this exhibit, you won't be disappointed. It's pretty awesome.
Right. So we got a little bit of a preview there of some of the exhibition.
Right.
And we're taking a look at the museum's website, and that is the location where you can go to find tickets for the exhibition. So those tickets are available online, and again, that exhibition is open through October 13th. So, but it's open now, and I've heard some pretty good things. People have been very much enjoying it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So take advantage of that. Another exciting thing for Oshkosh is that on July 22nd, the Oshkosh Food Co-op had a opening ceremony, and this is a new thing for our community.
It is. The Oshkosh Food Co-op. It's a brand new cooperative in the community. It's going to provide all kinds of different food products. I believe that a significant portion of their food products are going to be locally sourced. We're fortunate that it was located in an area of the city where there aren't a lot of food options for people that might reside at the university or in the downtown area. And as you know, Andy, we've been building more and more areas for people to reside downtown and along the water. And
right.
So it's so important, not only because that area was kind of categorized as a food desert, but also in order for us to have a successful, thriving downtown, if people live down there, they have to have the ability to go and walk and shop and gather food, and it just really helps in a whole variety of contexts from a city-centric perspective. And we talked about connections. We talked about how we're very proud of our departments, especially fire, with the awards that they received and how they work with other communities and protecting our citizenry. Talked about the Wisconsin connection with the Titanic, but the food co-op is really another connection, inside our community it's going to provide all kinds of different opportunities, I think, for the community to come together and receive nourishing food locally. I believe they also have different kinds of educational sessions that are planned for the community and community members, cooking, instruction, all kinds of different things. So
right, and youth involvement as well.
Absolutely. So it's very exciting for the community and especially the downtown area.
Sure. And the food co-op is located in that new building over on Jackson Street called the Brio Building.
Yes.
And so that's the corner of Jackson and Pearl. So we encourage folks to go and check it out, and Oshkosh Media will be following what's happening there. There's an upcoming ribbon cutting and some other events and things. So we'll keep an eye and keep everyone informed.
Right.
Okay. And then we also have some news, actually kind of speaking of that same area there over by Jackson Street. The Jackson-Oregon Street Bridge is going to be looking at a new design. And so we have a little bit of background about that. And I understand that this is sort of a project that's been maybe in the works for a little while.
It has been. I know the department, we're fortunate that we work very well with the Department of Transportation. They've been good partners with us for a long, long time. And they're very considerate, and they want to be in tune with what is going to work best for each and every community, especially Oshkosh.
Sure.
And so this has been a project that has been on the docket for a while for the DOT. And when they talked to us before, they provided a variety of options for us to consider. And it looks like we're see some footage of that Jackson Street Bridge right now. And as you mentioned, it's down in that area along the water there, just a little bit west of Main Street and
Next to City Center.
Next to City Center, right, exactly. And some of the developments, the old Morgan property for people as a reference point. And although we have been discussing this new bridge for a while, the DOT wanted to make sure it meshed with, the development. As the community knows, we've been pretty aggressive in terms of reclaiming a lot of the property along the water. Years ago it was old industrialized, and now it's become a little more residential, a little more recreational. We've introduced the Riverwalk there. So their idea, and also our idea, after we talked to them for a while when they were inquiring as to what we'd like to see, is to maybe wait and see how things developed around that area. And things have developed a little bit more. We talked recently about a potential development that's in the works there on the Morgan, the old Morgan property. I know you and City Manager Roloff have talked about that at a previous CMRs.
That's right.
So I think with that knowledge and knowing what is taking place down in that area, we just talked about the co-op and some of the other areas, I think it'll be a little easier for us to have dialogue about what kind of bridge is going to fit in there best.
Sure.
Whether it be a bridge that opens, whether it be a fixed standing bridge that's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on what's the best fit, and that's what the DOT is trying to accomplish for us.
Okay. The existing bridge was actually constructed in 1956, and recent inspections are showing that it's still in good service. But but looking at maybe a summer of 2028 construction start is approximately when we might see some work on this.
Right. The DOT does a really good job, as I mentioned, working with us to make sure that we're on top of it and that the inspections are taking place on a regular basis. So, so yeah, it's in good working condition right now, but it's not going to last forever.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. Okay, and then something else that the city has recently unveiled and folks are really taking a liking to is the Aquahawk service. And this is a way that folks can monitor their water usage and potentially receive alerts if there's a little extra use going on that they didn't anticipate. Right.
I know a little bit about this project just because, information technology is one of the divisions in our department, and so we've talked to them quite extensively about this and actually worked a little bit with Public Works on it and finance. And this is really a pretty cool feature that now is available to citizens. So if you like analysis and you want to make sure that you're not spending any extra money because you may have a leak, this product is just pretty phenomenal. You can assess different dimensions of your water use. You can put different parameters in so you get alerts if your usage goes over and above a certain threshold. You can even you can have it synced. You can also, if you're on vacation, take a look at what may or may not be happening, so you don't come back from vacation and say, hey, what happened? I'm flooded, or I had a water leak and I was unaware. So there's really a lot of neat applications for it. And for somebody who likes to assess and analyze things like me, I can get carried away with that. But I think it's really a nice product that I think the citizens would appreciate.
Yeah, well, it's a very useful tool, and especially the aspect of being able to receive those alerts.
Right.
It's very useful. So there's more information available about Aquahawk on the city's website, again, under the hot topics, as you see there. So there's a detailed frequently asked question sheet, and there's a link to actually sign up and get yourself onto the service, and that you just set up an account right there. So we encourage folks to do so. Okay, and John, the last thing that we have before our break today is just a reminder that Winnebago County Health Department offers some resources for folks that might be looking to receive a COVID-19 vaccine.
That's right, yes. Unfortunately, it seems like there's been a little bit of a nationally an uptick with COVID infections with the variant. So I think it's something that people should just be aware of and know that they can go to Winnebago County's website to keep track of local information. If you haven't had the opportunity to get vaccinated and you'd like to, all this information will be provided here on Winnebago County's website. And we also have an opportunity for people to link to that website if they go to ours.
That's right. And so that's wcvaccine.org that you're looking at there. Can get a lot of information. And there's also a Walk-In Wednesday weekly event that they have at the Sunnyview Expo Center. I believe it's from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. each Wednesday, where folks can just walk in. They don't need an appointment, and go from there.
Right. And one final thing, if people don't have any way to get to these vaccination sites, there's an opportunity for free transportation through Go Transit, and I think that information's on the website too.
It is. Okay, John. We have a time for a quick break here, and we'll be back right after the break with some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, July 27th Common Council meeting. So you're watching the City Manager's Report. Stay tuned.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick. Let's take a look at some agenda highlights, from the upcoming Tuesday, July 27th Common Council meeting. So I understand that the meeting will start off at, actually before the meeting at 5 o'clock, there'll be a workshop regarding the capital improvement program.
Right. We've had some dialogue about the capital improvement program already, but this is just going to be a little more detailed overview of a whole variety of projects. So 5 to 6, I think that's going to be in room 404 for people who would like to attend in person, but they can also watch on television.
Okay, all right. And then there's a resolution on the agenda relating to property at 851 South Main Street. I understand this is the former Miles Kimball building?
It is, right. I think people who've lived in the community for a while know where that building is. It's on the south side of town, just on the other side of the bridge. and it's fallen into disrepair. It really hasn't been occupied since prior to probably 2005, I would say. And we're looking at a development there that I think people are going to welcome. There's plans for some, I believe, restaurants on the bottom, and then housing opportunities on the top. So I think just with the Sawdust District, with Menominee Nation Arena, all kinds of different things going on the south side of Oshkosh now, that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll be watching for further development with that.
Right.
And then next in the agenda, we have several special events that are coming up. Among them, the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center are looking to do their Food Truck Friday event again. That's exciting to see that come back.
It is. It's really become, although it's a relatively new event, I think, with people not having the opportunity to get out, they've really missed it. And for people that don't know, it's also a fundraiser for our senior center. So
that's right.
By not having these Food Truck Fridays because of COVID and a whole variety of other safety concerns, we haven't been able to raise quite as much money. But we're back on August 20th, 5 to 9. A lot of great food out there, and I think there's some music, and hopefully folks will be able to free up a little time to get out there and check it out.
That's right. Yeah, we'll look for that. We'll get some more information and pass that along as we receive it. Okay, and then there's a pending ordinance relating to a zone change, and I understand this is for the day-by-day warming shelter.
Right. I know City Manager Roloff has spoken about this with you, Andy, and also we've communicated it to the public a little bit more in the past, but these are some preliminary steps for the potential modernization of the day-by-day warming shelter. There are really some zone changes and some general development planning and conditional use permitting for the potential for this to take place. So it isn't a reality yet, but I think it's setting the foundation for potential land use for modernization of that facility.
Okay, we're looking at a rendering there and where the site is. So
right now, the subject site that they're considering is kind of by the Hooper Building, if people are familiar with that, kind of on the east side of Oshkosh. So
close to the railroad tracks.
Yes, right,
okay.
Close to the railroad tracks over there.
Okay, all right. Well, and then we also have some future workshops that will be made mention of in the meeting. More budget planning, I understand.
Right. Our second formal budget workshop that's going to take place for our operating budget is going to occur on August 31st at 5 o'clock. And generally we talk in that workshop about preliminary assessments associated with wages, benefits, and because we're a service organization, those are some pretty big drivers in terms of how our budget is constructed. So we'll be talking about the information that we have available at that point. And then I think there's another budget workshop. The actual budget workshops with the department heads are going to take place in October.
Okay, October 18th and 19th.
Right. That's when we sit down. The council meets with each individual department, and we go over what's going on with our strategic plan, how it relates to some of the budget requests, so we can, match our not only our strategic planning but also our strategic management, match those up and accomplish some of the projects that we have planned for the citizens.
Okay, all right. Well, John, I think that's about all that we have for the show today. This 30 minutes went pretty fast.
It did. It went really fast. So I appreciate you having me, Andy.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. And again, that Common Council meeting is coming up this Tuesday, July 27th at 6 p.m. That is in person at City Hall with the option for remote participation by the public. You can watch it live on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and on OshkoshMedia.org. Or you can listen to it on the radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is also online, and on the TuneIn Radio app for phones and tablets. You can use your favorite streaming device, including Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV. Just search for Oshkosh Media app and you can find programming there. And as always, you can visit our YouTube channel for government meeting archives and the full library of Oshkosh Media programming. So thanks again for joining us today, and join us again in 2 weeks for another City Manager's Report. See you next time.